Hello everyone. Today I'll be talking about MVC framework. This is one of the main mental model which is used when developing any kind of complex web application. So let's get into it. So the M in MVC framework stands for model, and I will explain to you what they actually mean. But let's first understand what they are. And then V stands for view, and C stands for controller. So that's why it is called MVC framework, Model View Controller Framework. And model, you can think of model as the brain of the application. This is where all the data models are there. This is where uh, the interaction between different data model happens, and also this is a component which actually interacts with your database directly. And then comes the view. View is basically the presentation layer. This is the layer which you see your UI in. This is where you fill up the form. This is a layer which you have the button and see what needs to be shown. And then there is controller. Controller is a middleman, or you can think of it like the executor, which basically comes in between view and model. And it's a controller which tells the model what needs to be done. And it's a controller which receives the input from the view. So this is the basic definition and very brief description of these three components. But the question is, how do they interact with each other? How do we understand it? So let's get into the diagram of it. So first of all, imagine a scenario where a client, let's say you're using a computer, you make a request to the web page, right? And that request may be, you type the URL of that particular website that you want to visit, or the app that you want to visit. And then the controller takes it and basically interacts with the model, right? And it tells the model that what action needs to be taken. Mostly it is when you submit a form or something like that, then the model needs to update the data. So those kind of things. And then uh, the controller tells the view what to show, right? And the view forms makes this HTML page, and then gives it back to the controller. And then controller passes the view to the client, and the view consists of the styling, the page, the HTML, as well as dynamic data from the model itself. So this is in short uh, a diagram or a model of MVC model or MVC framework, and it separates the different concerns, like the business logic is with model, the presentation is with view, and controller is like controlling what happens, right? So this makes development very easy and keeps things very logical. And you can see I have numbered it depending on what happens when. So you can screenshot it and you can think about it later. And this is how you understand how MVC model works in brief. Thank you very much.